You know, just over 4 years ago, the United States SEC filed its lawsuit against Ripple. I'm finally able to announce that this case has ended. It's over.
At the end of this decade, I think he said yesterday, and he was talking about the labor shortage, Jim, something you've been talking about. And of course, if we continue with the deportation policies that we've talked about, and we make significant, if there are significant inroads made there, one would expect that worker shortage will only continue right on these shores as well. He said we're probably going to have to pay robots $50,000 a year to come to work, and so this is going to be a very, very large industry. There are all kinds of robotic systems. Your infrastructure will be robotic. Billions of cameras in warehouses, factories, 10 million, 20 million factories around the world. Every car is a robot. Again, to your point, he's very much focused on this as the next opportunity. But again, I will come back to, are we talking 2 years, 3 years, or is it really going to be longer than we think in terms of when this becomes a reality?
2 years, maybe even sooner. I know FedEx has a plant in the Boston area that is all robots. The great thing about robots, you may have to pay them that, but you don't have to give any health insurance to them. And by the way, at one point I asked them whether they complain. They don't have that level of sophistication yet to complain.
Not to mention they go 24/7. The last I heard, as long as the battery's working, I guess, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're going to want your AI factories right now. The reason why I lay out our roadmap for several years is because the world is building AI infrastructure, trillions of dollars of it over the next several years.
But we can't comprehend trillions.
Well, you know, this is the new industrial revolution, and inside, underpinning an industrial revolution are new factories, and we are the factories of the future.
What are we talking about? We think about Fulton and the steam engine, we think about railroads. Yours is so much bigger than all of those.
Well, the world is bigger now than it was back then. Right? It's a $120 trillion industry, GDP around the world. And now this new factory, called AI factories, is the underpinning for all of it. And so the idea that $100 trillion of the world's GDP will be underpinned by trillions of dollars of AI factories is very sensible.
With NVIDIA.
Uber, Bitcoin, self-driving cars. Combine those three together, and you have the self-owning taxi. A car that is a corporation that owns itself, pays for the car lease, the car insurance, and the gasoline from the revenues it makes, giving passengers a ride, and there's not a single human involved in that matter.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is It's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, well, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're going to get more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Please inform your friends and family and spread it all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works, because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that it is all planned out. Now, I want to thank those who purchased the NWO book and the Crypto Teacher book. The NWO book shows you how the world really works, and especially in the times that we're in right now, it's definitely time for you to wake up out of that sleep. And in 2025, the NWO is going to turn on that alarm clock. It's up to you whether you wake up or not, whether you're going to hit that snooze button. Remember, my people perish from the lack of knowledge because they reject it. And guys, we're going to see stablecoin regulation, which is the foundation of this new digital economy, and it sets up down the road 2028, 2029 for that free money. And then also, of course, in the first quarter of 2025, we always get a correction. But we have trillions of dollars sitting on the sideline in money market accounts. And then plus, we know the Fed is going to cut rates. Not a lot this year, but they're definitely going to cut rates. So I see us getting a correction and then moving back up. And then we have the two powerhouses, China and the U.S., will step up these tariffs on each other. And of course, guys, that's going to hit certain parts of the market. But then we also have the hacks. We have the Birdman. We have the drums are beaten, and more movies to come, as we can see. And inflation is going to stay sticky, and layoffs are going to step up while they move in all this automation. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And also, guys, I want to thank those who purchased the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, much love to those who donate to the Cash App, Patreon. Much love. Keep it coming. Guys, if you're not a part of the Patreon, make sure you're donating to the channel through the actual Cash App. But guys, this next Bitcoin and crypto bull run is going to be a utility run. So you want to make sure you have the cryptos that have real utility. And much love to those who are shopping at both stores. Keep it coming. And of course, guys, we get into Bitcoin and cryptos first.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And right now we have Bitcoin, cryptos, and stocks moving up. It's like clockwork, guys. We know when Jerome is in the house, they want the markets to look decent. All eyes off of Jerome. And guys, don't forget to hit that Cash App and join those Patreons. Because the fact is, I told you that we were going to be moving up today. But today is going to be volatile. We know that algorithm is going to be listening to everything Jerome Powell says. And if he says one wrong thing, the market is going to pull back. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And as we can see, guys, the plan is moving faster and faster. And you know this because they're letting us know what's coming down the road. And that is automation. When the mainstream media is covering robots, then you already know they're about to flip that switch. All of a sudden, we go from 20, 30 years from now to 10 years from now, and now 2 years from now. And guys, we know the fourth industrial revolution is definitely ready. They have the technology in the back. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. But remember, this is a plan. It moves in phases. But guys, again, we have Jerome in the house, so make sure you're paying attention to the actual indicators. We have yield rates moving up, and we know once Jerome Powell leaves, he doesn't come back again until May, and yield rates are going to slowly creep back up because we know he's going to pause. But we did get some good news, and I'm going to go over that later. But it's temporary good news. And right now we have the dollar slightly up. We have volume in crypto right now up. We have Tether and USDC. And then, of course, guys, we have the Fed. Repo at $149 billion. Make sure you're pulling that on a daily basis during the week. And we see how that repo went up because Jerome is in the house. And we know the Fed wants to keep rates higher for longer in order to destroy this legacy market so Trump can build his fourth industrial revolution. And we know what Jerome Powell is going to say. They're going to pause. The economy is doing well, but the jobs market is tightening, and that's something they're going to keep an eye on. And then plus, whatever Trump is going to do with the tariffs, they're going to react. Inflation is still sticky, but the goal is still 2%. And right now, the Fed should cut 100 basis points. They can afford to cut 100 basis points right now, but that's not part of the plan. The plan is to keep the pressure on this economy so it can break, so they can slowly move in the machines. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now, the good news that we did receive is that Japan is going to hold tight. So that's great for markets temporarily because we know eventually they're going to start raising rates. They're going to get in a raising rate cycle, but they're trying to time it with the Fed. But don't forget, the Fed has took off $6 trillion in 3 weeks. That is out of this world. And guess what? The sheep have no clue. Only thing they saw was their 401ks go down, the pensions go down, the IRAs go down, but they don't know why. And that's the key. If you knew why, this system would break down. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now we have the Bitcoin, Ethereum spot ETFs, BlackRock, Fidelity, and Grayscale. Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETFs right now are up. And we have Bitcoin spot ETFs have 3 consecutive days of net inflows. And Ethereum has been having outflows, but Ethereum received a pump. So we could clearly see a whale definitely bought that dip. Now we have strategy issues of 5 million share perpetual Strife preferred stock offering to fund more Bitcoin purchases. And we know Michael Saylor's strategy is not going to stop buying Bitcoin because we can see BlackRock and Morgan Stanley hands all over them. Now we have 21 shares applies to launch a Polkadot ETF on NASDAQ. Now, we have a lot of these altcoin ETF filings, but we know they normally do the futures first and then approve the spot, because that's how you open up the casino. Remember, the house always wins. And then we have CME futures for Solana. Start off slow, but we know it's definitely going to pick up, and that's going to bring more volatility to Solana. If you're a trader, keep an eye out on Solana. Now, getting over into a little crypto news, we have EOS Network has rebranded to Volta as it pivots into offering Web3 banking services. And remember, EOS was always the #1 pick as far as a blockchain is concerned by China. And those who built me from the beginning know I used to do a whole lot of videos on EOS. Now we have Zappo Bank launches Bitcoin-backed USD loans of up to $1 million for long-term holders. Also, we have institutional exchange LMAX Digital clients can now trade Ripple RLUSD stablecoin. And lastly, speaking of Ripple, we have the SEC drops the appeal for XRP being a security to retail investors. But I didn't see anything change when it comes to the institutional investor. But this case went on for 4 years. And guys, that is ridiculous. But it only makes sense when you understand the fourth industrial revolution. And Jay Clayton first took it out, handed it to Gary Gensler, and that was just to kick the regulation can down the road. And this is just a sign to let us know regulation is about to speed fast forward, and this fourth industrial revolution is about to speed fast forward. And we clearly know that Ripple is a bank, and it's going to help assist the big banks. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. But that's all I have for you. Don't forget about the books, Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the fourth industrial revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.